Welcome to Humanities, everybody. I'm going to give you just a very short video showing how to navigate through. Obviously, if you are watching this video, you've gotten to the welcome and getting started page, and you're watching the how to navigate through Humanities 1101, but then don't miss, it's a longer video, but don't miss the video why you must not use AI in my class. And I do go through essentially what the difference is, how I can see the difference between AI and regular student work. The other thing that is here on this welcome page is the syllabus at the bottom, and then the schedule is right below. And the syllabus and schedule are actually embedded in the same document. The schedule's at the end, but I also have essentially put it in separately so that you could just print off the due dates and the actual assignments that are due each week throughout the rest of the semester. So you can certainly do that too. If you have questions about the syllabus or about any of the requirements or what I'm looking for, make sure and contact me through my Wiregrass email. I usually am very responsive to that. So if you email me, I'll try to email you the very same day if I can. If you email me late at night, I'll email you as soon as I'm back in the office the next morning. But you can also call my office, and you can see it's listed there below too. It's just extension 3046. And I am also in my office a lot since most of my classes are online. So I'm very accessible, and I welcome questions. If you see anything that, like a due date that doesn't match the due date that's listed in the syllabus, please contact me. If you see anything weird, if a test is supposed to be open, if it's not open, please contact me. If you're afraid to do that, then the class won't function. And sometimes I do make mistakes. I am not perfect, and I do not expect any of you to be perfect. So just let me know if you run into issues or you have trouble finding something or whatever. You've gotten obviously into the start here, day one. Make sure once you've checked through the class and you figured out, hey, I really want to do this, make sure that you have confirmed your course enrollment. You need to do that, and it's an involving quiz. It is not something that looks like 2 questions or 1 question like it used to be. This is actually a 10-question quiz, and I have added, that's why it's because I've added a bunch of questions to it. So make sure you answer each question as fully as possible, and I will let you know if something else needs to be done. So just make sure you pay attention to all of those things and get that turned in by Sunday, because on Monday, any student who hasn't confirmed a course enrollment or started working on any of their assignments will be dropped from the class. So make sure once you look through and you go, yeah, I do want to take this class, then make sure and do the confirmed course enrollment. Once you've done all of that welcome and getting started stuff, I'm going to go ahead and close that. The online tools for student success are here, and that includes a Blackboard orientation. Make sure you do the orientation if you haven't already. And then there are also student resources for things like tutoring, Respondus Lockdown Browser, Galileo, which you'll be using for your research, a bunch of stuff like that. And you also have contact information for the distance ed personnel, the people who are running Blackboard. So if you run into technical issues with any of the different apps that we use, or with Respondus Lockdown, they are the people who can really help you with that. I am not, but if you send your email to me, I will forward it to them and make sure that you're on board with it. Then make sure you always keep access. You can actually download or print off the Humanities syllabus. So make sure you do that as well, and make sure you fill out your confirmed course enrollment. Now, the very first thing I want you to do is I'd like you to do an actual discussion board. And so it actually asks you, hey, it tells you all about me, but then you get to do a discussion board of yourself and answer the similar types of questions. What are you into? What is it that you like to do? What in your free time? What's your major? What are your interests? What's important to you? That kind of stuff. And so make sure and do that this first week as well. Now, once we get started into the actual coursework, where everything is very clearly defined, so we're going to cover 4 units in this class. Unit 1 is over the ancient world. Unit 2 is the rise of the religious world, and it's really early to middle medieval period. And then Unit 3 is the Renaissance, and that includes the very early Renaissance in Italy all the way through to the Protestant Reformation. And then Unit 4 is essentially the Baroque era and the Age of Enlightenment, when the United States became an actual country, and the Romantic period. And that's where we'll end with chapter 12. Each unit is essentially 3 chapters, and each test covers only 3 chapters. There is no test at the end that covers all 12 chapters. So chapters 1, you start essentially with the reading, and it's the chapter that's there. Then there's the unit 1. And so chapter 1 has that particular document, and then there's a video over it that you'll watch, and then you do the journal entry where you respond to the video and the reading. And then we'll also have a discussion post for all of these things where you can actually discuss with each other what is it that's important and what are we missing, and how are things changed from way back when, and things you liked back then and things you are really glad we don't do anymore, whatever it is. And the truth is humanities covers so many different things. We cover its history, but it's also politics and religion, art, architecture, literature, music, dance, costume, traditions. It can be not just beliefs, it's not just religion, but it's also superstition. It's also, generally accepted beliefs, about science. And so it really is, most history teachers call it the kitchen sink course, because it's history and everything else. And so whatever you're into, if you really like history, this will be fine. It'll actually add a lot of depth that you're probably not used to. But even if you're not into history, you'll be able to find other things you're into. And so because of my background, I actually have an English background, a literature background, but I also sing and I play 2 musical instruments. And I also am an art docent, and I've been actively involved in theater. So I already am involved in a lot of these different parts of humanities, and that's why I get to teach this. And it's my favorite class to teach. The other thing that I want to make sure you understand, once we have all these 4 units of study, each one has a test at the end, but we also have a research essay. And essentially about 2/3 of the way through the class, you're going to have one of the parts of it are going to be due. And so you're going to give me a topic proposal kind of 1/3 of the way through the class, telling me what is it that you'd like to look at. And then I'll help you essentially look at which 2 eras you're going to be comparing based upon what you're interested in. And then you're going to create a comparison chart where you put those 2 eras side by side, and I'll walk you through that assignment. And there's even a video for it, as you can see. But then you're going to write part 1, and it's just the first half of the paper. You'll get feedback from me at every single point of this, and then the final paper is essentially parts 1 with part 2 added to it based upon my feedback, and then that's turned in as a final research paper. But you have many times when you get to have feedback from me so that you can get as good a grade as possible. As long as you're not using AI, you're going to be okay. It's the AI part that's going to get you. So, but if you have questions at any point about the research essay and what I'm requiring from you, if you watch the 2 videos, if you have trouble and you just don't get the comparison chart, or you're having difficulty, you can always contact me, and I will do what I can to help you with that. But those assignments will be due sporadically throughout the semester. So if you have questions about any part of this, whether it be the research essay materials or any of the units as we go through, or even in a given chapter, if you have questions, your journal will allow you to ask me questions, but you can ask me questions at any time for any reason about any part of the class. I want to make sure that you're always on board so you know exactly what's expected and you can do all the things that are necessary. So anyway, welcome to class, welcome to Humanities, and I hope you have a great time. Make sure and do the course confirmation, and then introduce yourself in the discussions as soon as you possibly can. Thanks.